All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board workshop session this morning. Today is Friday, February 16th, 2024. Okay, I'm going to turn the workshop session over to Brett Schroeder, and he's going to run through the applications that we're going to be hearing and seeing at our public hearing starting at 9 o'clock. So, Brett, the floor is yours. Good morning.
Got 4 cases today. Fifth Third Bank's back for, they had some landscape things that we were tweaking. They had some site, some lighting things that weren't necessarily shown or lined up quite right. We've got all that all tweaked up, so I think that should be pretty quick. I'll look for that in a second. Main Street Brokers is just, wants to change their logo on their monument sign, so, since it's in the downtown, and it was different colors, I said we probably ought to bring it here. So monument is not changing, just the letters and coloring. Cal State Holdings, 390 North Main Street, that's a little office building up on Main Street, and they are doing some exterior changes and some hardscape landscape changes. We found them mid-building paint, so we did let them finish painting the building just because it was like 96% done. So they finished that up, and but now they've got some other exterior changes that they're doing, and I think it's a really nice plan. You know, we don't have much on Main Street. I wish we could see more of that, of their thing on Main Street, but it's a pretty nice plan. And then Taco Bell out on Haynesbridge Road, out there by Lazy Dog. Is it Lazy Dog? Yeah. Out there by Lazy Dog, they're just doing a few freshening ups and stuff. So we'll take a look at that. So we'll go here forward.
And they're putting in a patio too, right?
They're doing a little patio area. I want to say that the concrete is already there, and they're just kind of freshening it up and making it actually maybe usable. But yeah, so. All right, so here's the landscape plan for Fifth Third. So if you remember, we had them tweak some areas up in here. We had a light issue that was right here that was kind of up in the trees. I want to say, and may not be right, but I want to say there was some question about the screening here. And then I want to say there was some question about along the back of the building and maybe some of these right here as well. I will tell you that David Shostak and I worked with them pretty hard on this area to keep it crowded over a little bit because, you know, as the tree ordinance wants shading for asphalt, not to help with cooling and things like that, not just necessarily trees. So we got them to try to push that over as much as we could to hopefully get some of that shading in that asphalt area. And this is one, remember that their site technically ends right up here at the edge of the parking lot, but they are doing quite a bit out here for us. So what do I want to say about that? What we're getting is much better than what's there. So, but we still want to make it be the right stuff because we don't want to have to talk to somebody about maintenance. Main Street Brokers, here is their sign. So they've got kind of an orange color. It was all brushed aluminum before on that dark background. So just updated their logo, and so she wanted us to put it out on the monument.
Brett, did we, in our motion that we did back in 2019, ask for some ground cover around the base of the sign?
We did, and I say that it is there, but I want to say that it's, well, right now it's currently winter, but it was there when she did that. They had a landscape plan, so we can ask her about that.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the picture, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm looking at the picture right now. It doesn't look like there's any at all.
I took a
Even-
picture of it earlier this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, your picture.
Okay.
It just
All
looks
right,
like
we'll just-
grass right up to the painted brick base.
No, that's mulch.
Well, in the picture that he sent.
I
So
get
like
what-
even if
Oh,
you come
okay.
out further, it just looks like grass.
Okay.
Okay.
Cal State Holdings. There's a lot of images in here. Some of them look a little better. Some of them are kind of skewed, but this is the end product.
Did you do that?
Currently, this area is, well, prior to them sort of getting started on this area, it was just grass. Our beautiful wall for DOT, I wish it was that pretty.
Yeah, I've told my wife I'm threatening to paint part of it.
Lots of murals. I think that would be fun. Yeah. Just continue it. I'll suggest that.
Brett, did they name the paint color for this? I drove by this morning and it actually looks not as white as it did when I saw it earlier this week. So maybe it was just the. I thought they did somewhere, yes, on their.
Here's landscape plan. If you notice closely, there's somebody who's stamped right there that's familiar with the board. So I think he's reviewed things and made sure that they're up to the board's snuff on that.
Are you doing the presentation this morning? Nope. Okay. You stamped everything on this one.
What kind of business is Cal State Estate?
Well, I think that's just the ownership.
Oh,
I'm not sure what the business is in there. It was a CPA firm, but I'm not sure if that's what's still in there.
still there?
Yeah. I have to put that on there as they put in their application, and on their application it says owner.
Oh,
Some people put the business name, some people will put
Simply
the
white. Okay.
property ownership name, which is usually something really different, so.
Yeah, they did.
And then we have Taco Bell.
Brad, I want to say we saw Taco Bell
We saw this Taco Bell,
4 or 5 years ago.
yeah, it's been a
They-
while.
Okay.
It's been a
They were
while.
doing some sort of refresh.
And I had all this deleted, all this weird stuff in here, but
It's just
with
all-
all the issues with the the plans and the uploads this week, I was like, I'm not changing it again. So, did you have comments on each page? Okay. Red lines? This is the same architectural firm that did the one here on Main Street. So Rosa, if Rosa comes, she's the architect, she's familiar with.
Oh, the ones that don't pay
With-
attention to their drawings and.
Well, the ones that
Okay.
weren't familiar that they needed to come back to the board if they changed their drawings.
Okay.
Now she's intimately familiar with that, and so we have lots
Okay.
of
I
stuff
like the
from
one
her.
on Main Street.
They will only see her once.
We have
Yeah.
more than what we probably needed now. So
Okay. Yes.
one thing that I'm a little concerned about was, I don't know if you caught this, is this LED perimeter lighting. So I think we need to figure that out.
Who was that? Somebody wanted to have like blue perimeter lighting. Who was that? Several years, they wanted to do like a blue.
Yeah.
Um,
Well. Yes, and there's
and I
another.
can't remember who that is.
Yeah, I know who,
You know, and we talked a lot about it. And I feel like
Yes.
did we let them do
and
it?
I don't remember who that was. I know that we did the permanently installed holiday lights for Von Mar.
Now, doesn't Eddie V's gonna have something like that? If I have to go back and look at their
But they're
application.
not, is it colored though?
Well, they had some stuff behind a screen wall that was there at the front that they were
That's
illuminating, but it was white light.
White light,
It wasn't
yeah.
a colored light.
There was somebody that wanted a blue perimeter.
I
What's that at, near Killer Creek? What's the Mexican place right there? Up, Mansell 400. There's.
Chili's?
What is it?
Chili's?
On the border. I think, did they do something like that?
They would have done red, I bet. If they.
don't know.
God,
Okay,
I-
all right.
that should have dragged
Anyway,
it.
we need to
I mean,
figure it out.
It was like several years ago. I mean, it was a long time ago.
Well,
And then they're
Alpha
doing
Soda
some
used to
new
have
outdoor
that
furniture,
green.
umbrellas.
Oh, Alpha Soda. I miss Alpha Soda.
Okay,
So I'm not really sure. It's always hard to tell. So we'll have to ask them about this signage because they say it's internally illuminated white LEDs, but they show black. So if it's halo lit, then we'll be okay. Otherwise, it'll be a code issue that they'll not.
well, they have a nighttime and a daytime below, so.
Oh,
maybe-
nighttime below, yeah. So obviously, yeah, they'll have to
Yeah, it
change
says
that.
black and white letters. Or black letters.
But we're not looking at signage. Or-
They submitted it, so we can. We don't have to approve it or do anything with it. But if you want to talk about it, we can. But we don't have to. And then they got new cut sheets for their parking lot lights and different things that they're doing.
Yes.
They have a lot of sheets of that. There is in here the lighting plan. I looked at it. It looked okay to me.
Well, it seems like they share lighting with the Starbucks next.
They do
door.
share lighting with Starbucks, and we don't, on this driveway over here, it's just an access road, so I wasn't concerned with bleeding over there because we don't have any pedestrian lights over there or whatever, so I wasn't concerned about bleed over going that direction.
Right.
Just because I think with all the pedestrian we're gonna start hopefully getting out in that area, it's gonna be even better for them. So wasn't concerned there at all.
The only thing I was a little concerned about, I know there's a wall between Starbucks and Taco Bell. It's pretty tall and it doesn't have any kind of a safety rail or guardrail or anything on it. So
I mean, if
It's
it's
there.
existing,
it's existing. But
yeah, so. I mean, it's a mentionable, but I don't know that we can hold them to fixing that. Okay, that's it.
All right. So 4 applications. Okay. Any-
So we took it easy on you this month, next month,
Yeah.
not so much.
Pay the price.
So I don't know if you've been out there yet. Did we publish it yet at all?
What's
I
that?
don't think so. The agenda for next
Yes,
month?
it's already been
We did.
published.
Well, we put it in the paper, but
It's been
has
in
it,
paper, so yes.
but I don't know if
I
it was
figured
on the
that's been
thing. I think we have
published.
eight
Yes.
applications for next month, so.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. What are you going to have for dinner for?
Yeah, so we'll have
Okay.
to have some lunch.
Okay, there'll be no further business. Let's adjourn the workshop session. We got 15 minutes and we'll get started with our public hearing at 9 o'clock. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board public hearing. Glad to see everyone here this morning. All right, first order of business is roll call. It looks like everybody is here, or actually, Mr. Owens is in Florida heading to a wedding today, so we have Tom LeCain sitting in for Richard Owens. So thanks, Tom, for being here. One of our reliable alternates that we can call on from time to time, so. Okay, just a gentle reminder for those that have electronic devices, if you'll just silence those, turn them off or silence those for us, please. We're going to stand, face the flag, and have the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you for that. All right, looking over at Brett and Ellie and Nikisha, any items from staff this morning? Any birthdays, anniversaries, upcoming events?
Don't think we have.
Taste of Alpharetta, has that been planned?
It
Probably
is
has.
May 9th,
May
yeah.
9th, okay.
Yeah.
Daylight savings is in a month.
Ooh, okay.
Spring training started.
Oh, that's okay, for pitchers and catchers or something like that? Or-
Should be everybody.
Okay, very good, all right.
Just make sure you turn your microphones on when you speak.
Yes, that little the green light's on when you need to speak, so. Turn your microphone off right now. Okay, any items from board members this morning? Anything from board members? No? Glad you're all here. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day earlier this week. So, okay, let's see, we have minutes from our January 19th, 2024 meeting, but I don't know that they were officially published. I'm looking at Ellie over there, so I have a copy.
I sent everybody an email yesterday.
Okay,
And I attached the minutes to the email.
okay, and did you send it through our Alpharetta email
Yes.
address? Okay, very good. All right, did everybody have a chance to see those meeting minutes? Yes, no, yes, okay. I know Frank and I took a look at them a couple weeks ago, I guess, and picked up a few items, but, all right, does somebody want to make a motion to approve our meeting from January?
What was the date?
Anybody?
What was the date?
January 19th, January 19th.
All right, Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the Design Review Board meeting minutes from January 19th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Ms. Palmer. Any comments or questions about the motion on the floor? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board meeting minutes of January 19th, 2024, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? No opposition? All right, the minutes are approved, 7-0. Okay, very good. Our first applicant this morning is Fifth Third Bank. You're here. Come on down or come on up, please. Make sure you speak into the microphone. Introduce yourselves this morning and give us an overview of what we have in our packet for your application today, please.
That picked up your, perfect.
Good morning, Dana Baker with Moody Noland.
Craig Most with Terra Engineering, Senior Landscape Planner.
Okay. Why don't you walk? I know we did have, or you did make a presentation last
It was in
month.
December.
December, yes.
Yes.
2 months ago on the landscaping, but why don't you refresh our memories on what you've done or what you've changed? So,
Well, I'm going to defer to Craig because
Okay.
he's the one I should have brought in December, and we,
very good. Welcome. Glad you're here today then.
All right, so we'll take a quick look here at the tree preservation plan. I don't think we've really changed anything here, but just a reminder, we're taking out 3 parking lot trees, and we're replacing them with, I believe, 13 new trees on the site, so. Okay. All right, so here's the updated landscape plan. A few of the changes that were made, I think Brett touched on some of them. We relocated the transformer down closer to the trash enclosure down here. We've added some evergreen landscaping along the Wendy's parking lot here to buffer our drive-through area. We have added a parking lot island at the far north end here, so we can have a shade tree up here. We changed some species. I don't know if we changed species up there, but we have evergreen screening up along Old Milton Parkway, as required by.
What the material is, please?
So those are hollies up there. So those are Carissa hollies and recall here we had needle point hollies for the screening. And then I think we had needle points over here along the Wendy's parking lot here. So something else that we changed was we changed some of the species to more in line with what's at Wendy's and what's at Publix. And so on this table, you can kind of see that there's, it notes where we've kind of matched up with what's on the neighboring property. So all the trees match up with the neighboring properties, a couple of the shrubs, two of the evergreen shrubs, so, and then a couple of the perennials, so. One of the issues, I believe, was conflicts with the lighting, and so we had relocated a light up here in this north end, changed the tree species to in that area, and then down this middle area, we changed the tree species to a columnar oak to match what's over in Publix currently, and give the existing light pole or the proposed light pole that's there a little bit more space and not block that light. And then I believe we actually added an additional tree from the last one. As required by code, it's at the ends of each parking lot island or parking row. So we couldn't really fit one in there, so we added another tree down here that exceeds what's required. So, and then we just added all these pictures of what's being proposed landscape-wise, what sizes and features. So.
Okay, why don't you, I was looking at, where's the dumpster located?
Dumpster is located in the south east corner here.
Okay, and we like to make sure it's very well screened with landscaping, so is there a way you can zoom in to show us what's around that?
So we have some of the hollies. And we
Excuse
did.
me, can you please speak into the mic?
Oh, sorry. So we're using the needlepoint hollies, and we're doing the 48-inch. So that's what's around the transformer and the trash enclosure.
A bank is, oh, sorry. A bank doesn't have a very large trash enclosure. They're not trash people. Hate to say this. It kind of sounds weird. They have a recycle bin, and then they also have like a 2.5-yard dumpster is what they have. They don't make a lot of trash.
I understand, yes.
So it's a smaller, like the Wendy's is right behind us, and we're backing up against theirs, which is right here, their existing trash enclosure, and the cooler right there. So we're sort of playing in that same realm, the farthest part of the block.
In screening that on the north side of the enclosure, you got, I think it's 2 miscanthus.
Yep.
So I think you need to have on the north side better screening, something that's 3 or 4 feet on center. Same thing for the back side of it as well. I know you've got an oak that's sitting there, but you can start get those plants established before the root system really gets going. What is the distance between the sidewalk on the north side of the site? See where it says 8-inch gas up by the street? Go up, and so there's the street, and there's
yep.
the sidewalk, and those are, what hollies are those?
Those are the Carissa hollies.
Carissa hollies. What's the spacing of those?
We have shown them as 5 feet on center.
5 feet. So I think out there you need to tighten that up, especially for Carissa holly, because the maintenance guys they're just gonna shave them into little creeps. So I think you need to tighten the spacing up on there.
Okay.
Down further past the sidewalk where you've got lots of room, and you have that staggered space, I think it's fine. And then you're not doing anything around the public sign, right? That's kind of what's existing.
It looked like there was some
I thought it was.
color they were adding.
Yeah, so the existing landscape was to remain, and then the parking lot island gets slightly revised based on some grading issues, so we're adding some perennials along that new expanded area, basically, so.
And what's the NEW?
Those are the catmint.
Catmint. Ooh. And then what's the existing around that sign?
I believe those are junipers.
Yeah, I don't think the catmint's gonna survive next to parking spaces. I think as a perennial. I'd like
It
these,
has to be divided, or it just looks bad, because I have 3 in my yard, and they look really bad, and they're only a year old. You have
Yeah.
to divide them.
you know, I think you need something a little more bulletproof than the catmint that will withhold and stand up to car doors and people walking and through it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is it's next to this EV charging station, and so, that's kind of an access aisle next to it, so there shouldn't be any car doors or people necessarily walking in that. So that's part of the reason why that was used, but if there's a preferred.
You don't think getting access out of a car door, never mind, it's okay. I just think you need something more bulletproof than the catmint.
Yeah,
I think
maybe,
that'll eventually go away.
maybe something just a little more hardy, also
Yeah.
with the radiant heat from the parking lot too. I think catmint's a bit more sensitive. Yeah.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I don't know if any of it will survive, to be honest with you, but give it a shot. It's just a tough spot to grow something between juniper and the curb. People are going to walk there, and especially if they're trying to get to an EV station and all that sort of. So anyway,
Maybe something like a black-eyed Susan or something that's going to reseed itself, and kind of have and drought tolerant. We'll have a
Okay.
little bit
Well,
better.
we could definitely change that to black eyed Susan.
Yeah.
And I assume the site is irrigated, right?
Yes.
Okay, landscape irrigation.
I also might note that right at the ramp, we have the needlepoint hollies. You might consider something a little softer that's less, spiky, adjacent to the pedestrian walkway. Is the ILN on the other side where the ramp is?
And make sure you walk in the
Stay in your
right,
lane.
stay in the
Yeah.
lane.
Don't go through it.
Right here.
So you're talking about these right here?
Jennifer, you
Just to confirm, you're talking about these?
Yes, that's right.
What are those?
Needlepoint.
Needlepoint, yeah.
Carissa Hollies.
Jennifer, could those go to, how would that?
Work to swap those over with the same that are on the other side, the Carissas.
I would be okay with that. I think they're just a little bit shorter, but yeah, we can make those all Carissas if that's
Yeah,
acceptable.
or I guess if you want to stay within the same palette, or a soft touch compacta, something evergreen, but just softer, less needly.
I had a question about the new island that's being added.
Yep.
And I don't know if this is outside of our jurisdiction, but because it's outside the property, are there any approvals that you need from the master development to be able to eliminate the space, and does it impact the parking count at all?
I can answer that. We are working with the developer that owns the whole complex. Our calculations, which we have already given to the jurisdiction, we don't reduce anywhere near what is still required for here, so we're okay. And they have to approve everything we do
That's what I was
before.
going to ask also.
We have your approval, we have their approval, then we proceed, so.
Great. And then also, I presume that the diagonal lines around the signage are the sight lines, so that tree doesn't interfere with any kind of visibility of the public sign.
That's correct, yeah.
Eric, you could probably go in and put a parking island every 8 spaces in that
Yeah.
entire parking lot and probably not
Probably true.
impact the number
Yep.
of parking spaces they
There's a
need.
lot of parking there.
And we have to answer to publics too.
That's right.
Yes, you do.
We have 3.
3 owners, 3 people looking over your
people that are
shoulder.
suggesting.
And then, once again, back to the site lighting that we talked about the last time you guys came in. the new site light near the drive-through area, you guys have confirmed that the tree canopy won't interfere
Correct.
with the photometrics of that?
Correct. We've shifted those light fixtures over on the side to like in here, and they're within the tree range. Those are 12.5-foot tall fixtures, which are similar to what's over at the ones at Wendy's. The only tall ones that we have are the ones that are out here on the parking lot over here, which are the 25-foot with the, I call them snakehead, the LEDs, but that's what Publix has got now within that whole development.
Right.
So it's in the same realm of that.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for the applicant? And we've talked about the site lighting as well. Landscaping, site lighting, I think those are the two items that we had deferred from last month. Before we have a motion or anything, is there any public comment about this application this morning? Any public comment? No public comment, okay. All right.
All right, Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 230050, Fifth Third Bank, motion to approve the landscaping as presented with the following conditions. Applicant will provide better screening for the dumpster with final approval by staff. Applicant will tighten the spacing on the Carissa Hollies along State Bridge Road. Applicant will select a different material, something more hardy for planting around the public sign. The suggestion was to replace the catmint with black-eyed Susans. And applicant will select a material that is softer, I think the term that we used was less spiky, than the needlepoint hollies along the walkway. Final material approval by staff. End of motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Mr. Rowan. And I just added something to my vocabulary, less spiky this morning. I do. Okay, any questions or comments about the motion on the floor? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? No opposition. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, safe travels.
Sure.
Thanks for being
We'll
here.
get to see the snow here soon.
Okay. All right, our next applicant this morning is Main Street Mortgage Brokers. Main Street Mortgage Brokers. You're here. Come on up, please, or come on down. Thank you for being here.
Price is right, right?
Yes, there you go.
Morning,
Price is
everyone.
right.
Hi, I'm Tammy Albright with Main Street Mortgage Brokers, and I'm here this morning about changing the logo of my sign for my new company name, which is Main Street Mortgage Brokers. One second. Oops, do I have the wrong, maybe I have an old, you know what? I don't have a conversion. Look at that.
Uh-oh.
You guys have an old thing, so I have a newer laptop.
Lakeisha may have one for you.
Yeah. There we go, thank you. One of the few times I'm updated here, hold on.
Eventually, there should be some sort of universal plug-in.
Well, that's way too easy. Well, they're supposed to be. That's USB-C, which is what you have. I guess our
I know.
phone is still the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't, I don't know why it's not opening here.
Yes, that's right. Phones
Oh,
included.
well, we'll just do it this way, I don't know why it's not opening. Here's a copy of what our sign is now, what our new logo is. There's our sign, it's prepped for the new logo. I was here earlier, I did hear about some ground covering, so I wanted to talk about that because I think I misunderstood something from the last meeting. We had talked about, and I guess we'll get there. I'll show you everything first. Here is a color of the front door, which my old logo did not have, and this logo does have. Whoops. What in the world? I don't have a connection to the internet, so there's no way to download it. And just in case that happened, I have paper copies for everyone. I don't know why it was there a second ago. Can I give these paper copies to everyone? Is that okay?
Sure, certainly. Although you probably, let's see,
Huh?
I was gonna say you could pull up the sign. You had a picture of the sign, I think.
Oh, I did. But what I was going to show you guys, or what these are too, is it's got the actual logo on the sign and everything as well.
If you want, you can use our projector overhead to
Yeah,
your
just
right.
flame on that thing over there to your right.
Oh, okay. That'll work. Okay, so, but we have no microphone, but thank goodness I'm loud.
Hold on, wait.
No, we have to have a microphone.
I'll give you this one.
Okay. Oops. Alrighty. Everyone can hear me, is that good? Okay.
Yes.
So here is the new logo. There is the monument right now prepped and the building. There is the front door. There is the example of the new logo on the monument we built to match the actual property on Main Street. And it shows the new color scheme. The details of the sign and how it's basically going to be copying the previous sign that we had, which was that you guys approved for the mortgage firm. And then I gave you guys examples of the signs of my neighboring places and their colors as well, because I wanted everything to coordinate on that block as well. So
That's
the colors.
good, but bear in mind that the code has changed on signage recently too.
Which is what?
About lighting and things of that nature, so,
Lighting?
yes.
You're not doing internal letters.
She's fine.
This is
No,
non-illuminated.
I'm just, but some of those other signs are internally lit, that's what I was,
Your sign is fine.
yes, you're
Oh,
okay.
okay.
All right.
So what is the code, out of curiosity, that it needs to be lit, or?
No,
You-
it can't be internally lit.
Oh, gotcha,
So-
yeah, mine is not. It's got a,
Some of the ones you just showed
Spotlight.
were internally lit, though. That's
oh,
why.
yeah, of the neighbors, yeah, mine is not. I wish.
Okay, why don't you flip the page that has the monument sign and your logo on it, if you
Okay.
will, please. Just, there you go.
It is very similar, and I wish I had a picture of the old logo. It's very similar to what we had before, as far as it's the same brush metal. And what I've done too is actually gotten the sign company to give us examples of the colors in the actual brush metal that's going to be used. And I brought each of you a copy of the color sample as
Why don't
well.
you just hold that, what that cardboard is, that looks good, yeah, because that's what you're gonna see
Those are the colors too.
primarily, so, okay. So those are the three different colors you're using.
Correct.
Very good.
And I'm looking at the cross-section, the letters and the stars stand off from the blue background, right?
Yes, that's correct. So they have like a 1/4 inch rivet and they protrude out. So it's more of a three-dimensional kind of sign. Let me turn this page here. You'll see, do you see that?
Yeah, so 2-inch total offset from the,
Correct, but we also have this that's not, oh yeah, there it is, 2 inches from here to there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know, the details that you submitted indicate that they're painted aluminum letters? Are those like factory baked enamel or electrostatically painted? The reason why I ask is that, if they're actually physically painted on, it's likely to fade or the colors pretty quickly.
It's like a baked-on
So it is baked on the way it's supposed to be baked on, that metal.
Okay.
This that is on here has been painted on just for us, but this is not the way it's gonna be. So they
Yeah.
actually
like
cure it and make sure that it,
In the shop?
It's
yeah.
a factory finish.
Correct, yeah.
Good.
So you're not having to go out there once a year and repaint
repaint
everything.
it.
No, I have to clean it though, because I did learn with my last sign, your colors really change with the elements of the
Yeah.
construction on Main Street,
Yeah,
which is so fun for 3 years so far.
it is. I think there's another year or more of it.
I know, that's what I called the DOT asking, and I'm like, another.
It's a year and a half, I think they said.
Okay.
It's good to be the government.
All right, and then you heard us talk a little bit about some plantings at the base of the signage.
Right, and with my last sign, I thought, when we walked away from the meeting, we did discuss that, but then we talked about, and I hate that you're looking at the dirty sign, it's been cleaned and everything, but we talked about how we made the monument sign base to match the brick of the house, and that was very conducive to the mid-century modern design, and by putting that ground cover there, it wasn't aesthetically pleasing to that, and we have the pebble rock you see. So when I left that meeting, I thought I did not need that ground cover. So can we, do you guys want that ground cover still? And even if we do, I kind of would love to wait until construction is done, because I can't tell you how many bushes and things that I have had.
So Nikisha's going to switch over to my computer, and I'll show you the landscape plan that was approved by council. And then future landscape plans will go to staff. So
Okay.
this is the plan that they did. You can see out there where it says type B, tree save, that block right beside there, that's her monument sign. So during her variance and stuff for some other things, she did that, got that landscape plan developed. So I think we need to, if we do anything with the landscape around the sign, I think, I don't exactly remember that conversation, but it seems like I do remember something, because she was redoing the base, that we try to keep it as minimal, since it did have a council condition that staff review it.
This particular.
What my
spot
plan
very
is
shady,
to
too.
keep that pebble rock, because it's conducive to the style. And I personally, you guys are the design committee, but I love the individuality a little bit on the main street, and having that house is a blessing, because it stands out. One of the original mid-centuries here.
Are there any pictures of this area that's a little more expansive than the one that we've got in our packet?
It's hard to do because there's a silt fence like butted up right against her fence. If you're looking at the sign right now on our screen, just to the left is a silt fence.
That's
I
why
did take
the
a picture of it
angles
from
are.
the driveway the other day, kind of straight down, looking at it. Let's see if I can pull that up online.
My plan is to keep that pebble rock, but to do more seasonal round landscaping, flowers and stuff like
Yeah, I mean,
that.
normally,
This is street
we do
view,
want
so-
landscaping around the base. You have a very low base on
pretty
this, though. It's two courses of brick. You'd have to, whatever you put there would have to be pretty low.
Well, and it's also very shady, because there's the oaks there.
Maybe something like hellebore or something like that, it's just easy, it grows in the shade, it's got a little flower, it's got a little color to it, you know.
So here's some street view. This is pre-construction. So this paper area, I think, is about where the sidewalk comes out now. I think monument sign is right in here.
The monument side is right in front of that tree.
Yes,
And
it's,
go over to the funds of DOT.
that is why the angles of all my pictures are a little off.
Yeah, I think,
You
yeah,
can't
you
see
can
anything.
see part of the sign to the left of that tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, see how much shade it gets too? So
Yeah.
whatever she
Can we-
plants has to thrive in shade.
Can we condition anything in that when the construction is done, that it's looked at again? As far as landscaping underneath that sign, or around that sign? I'm not a fan of just the pebble rock, but
Well, she does have a condition, she does have a council condition that said, once the Highway 9 construction, if there's any vegetation of hers that was retired, is lost because of that, she needs to replace it.
because once all that goes away, you know, the base is okay, the top of it's just concrete, and unfortunately, you see a lot of the concrete. I'm not a fan of the pebble rock at all, so can we just condition that in, that once, to go hand in hand with that condition number 4, that it's looked at again? That'll give you a chance to get out of the office, Brett, and
Or you can tell me what you want now, and I'll make sure it's done when the construction is over.
I think you can make suggestions, and then staff will review it with her when it's done. I don't think we can condition over council's condition that staff review it, so I think if you make recommendations of what could go around the sign and still maintain the
base look since it's low and things like that, then I think we can work together once the construction is done. And, because I'll have to get back out there with her and just make sure that the other stuff is done.
I mean, it could be well done with any number of things that grows in the shade that's also evergreen.
Okay.
I think,
It's
yeah,
gotta
we
be
just
such
say
a
low,
low, though.
low
Very, very
evergreen
low.
ground cover at the round
Yeah,
base.
I mean, it could be everything from liriope to any number of things.
Yeah.
Probably some of that,
It could be a combination of a couple of
what's the mondo grass that's like
Mhm.
mondo grass.
Like the,
Yes.
like the,
the
like the
Yeah,
dwarf,
I like
the
that,
dwarf.
because it needs to be conducive. It would look so odd if it's not part of the element of the building and the sign.
Yeah.
So what you just
So really
suggested would be
low,
ideal.
But it'll be different from the yard, so it'll show
I
different.
think if you just did an area of like a variegated liriope and
Yeah.
that would make it stand out, that ground cover would make it stand out and wouldn't take away from the sign at all, more accent the sign so you see it.
Plus it'll hide the lights, the ground lights that are there.
Mhm, Yeah.
Kind of conceal them too.
We do have plans on that base anyway, it's just that you can't really do anything, because,
We understand, yeah.
Okay, so we'll work on that.
Okay.
When construction's done.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever that might be.
So
Yeah.
what
We'll have
is-
a party when we do
Yeah.
that, right?
So Brett, you said, when is the anticipated construction now
I
set
think the
for?
last I heard, have you heard anything different? No, it's like.
2025.
Summer of
maybe
2025.
beginning 26.
I know they extended it a year or something, or they
I
said.
think they said a year and a half at the
Yeah.
state of the city.
Yeah,
I
All right,
heard June
well-
of '25 when I
I
called
was
the
thinking
DOT
summer
recently.
2025.
Within the last 60 days.
We're
I called.
getting there. We're getting there, but wow.
So is the 400, 285 interchange getting there. Okay,
Fortunately, I think this one will come to an end, where I don't know if that 400 thing, whatever.
We'll have,
just keep-
they'll start doing.
okay. All right, before we make any motions, is there any public comment about this application? Any public comment? No public comment, okay. All right, somebody want to craft a motion, please?
Try to,
You want to take it, Eric?
yeah, I think so. Mr. Chairman, regarding GRB 240007 for Main Street Mortgage Brokers, I'd like to make a motion to approve the new signage with a suggestion related to the landscaping at the base of the sign, that the applicant will review possible ground cover such as mondo grass or liriope to be approved by staff at the completion of the DOT construction. And a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Rowan, a second by Ms. Palmer. Thank you for that. Are there any questions or comments about the motion? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed, no opposition. Motion passes 7-0. All right. Tammy, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
All right. Next applicant this morning is Cal Estate Holdings. You're here. Come on down, please. Oh, you're going, all right. Mr. Corkle is recusing himself from this application.
All right.
Okay, good morning.
Hi.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Make sure you speak into the microphone, introduce yourselves, and then give us an overview of what we have in your packet this morning, please.
So, hello, good morning. I'm Tara Dennis. This is Julio. Oh, why is this flicking around everywhere? Get bigger. I am co-owner and co-founder of Archie Bolden, an architecture and design firm that has been working with the client on this project, which is why I'm here today. And we are wanting to talk about the exterior paint and the landscaping for their property on North Main Street. Julio works for the client as their in-house architect, and he's been kind of working with me, going back and forth on a lot of this. So we'll start with the paint. Well, it's kind of all that combined, and Pat helped us with all of the landscape as well, so that was awesome. So the property was existing. This is the existing property, as you can see. And it was, I think, mortgage brokers maybe, or maybe a law firm. I'm not exactly sure, but the existing colors are very beige and flat and boring. And what the client's wife, she is an artist and she does hyper-realistic, like hand paintings with acrylics and stuff like that. I don't know if you call it a painting when it's with acrylic, or it's just hand sketch. That she wants to turn this into an art gallery as a place for people to come and view her work, or she'll host events for local artists, photographers, that kind of thing. Maybe classes for kids after school. So it's very much a forward public-facing building, which is why we've put a lot of thought into the rebranding of it. The business is called Noor Gallery, N-O-O-R. Her last name is N-O-O-R-I, and it just so happens, I don't know this personally, but she's Persian, and I think N-O-O-R means like beautiful, strong woman or something like that in Farsi. I'm not entirely sure, so don't like hold me to it. But it's a really fun take on her last name, and obviously something that she's really proud of as a strong woman creating her own business. And her favorite color is purple. So we've brought that through a lot in what we want to do on the exterior. So as I said, as you can see, it's like kind of cream, mottled cream existing exterior with stacked stone on the front, brick on the sides. Front door, it's going to remain. We are going to change the 2 swing doors in the middle because those glass panes are really loose and I'm worried about security of them, so they'll just be replaced in place. But we would like to paint all of the windows and doors this dark color. Which way did you do it? Yeah, at the top, iron ore, which I believe is used we've spoken. Hello, nice to meet you. Iron ore, and then we would like to do the brick, and I'll show you some 3Ds once we get through this, the brick, a white, and then bring through the purple in 2 tones on the front. So we've got iron ore at the top, and then I cannot remember the names of these paints off the top of my head, but they're in this presentation. We've got the next darker color that will be the contrast on the front, on the arch, and then we would like to do the stacked stone, this, again, contrasting color, and then white on the brick at the back. And I know that you guys are really strongly opposed to white right now because there's a lot of white buildings, but we need to keep in mind that this is an art gallery and we don't want the exterior to be really dark. We want the interior to feel really bright and light, showcase all the artwork. The interior walls are white. So we're trying to find that balance between giving you some color and variation that you desire in a lot of the buildings in Alpharetta, but also trying to stay really true to the project.
All right, I'm gonna stop you there just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So you're proposing these colors. The building's been painted.
Yeah, I didn't realize that we needed to get approval before.
So let's start with what you've done to date.
So to date,
As of today,
yes.
and then what more will be happening to the building?
Yes. So to date, the whole exterior was painted the one white color.
And that's the
one at the bottom. Yes,
okay.
Which is simply white. And we'd also painted all of the windows and doors and the trim, the fascia, the iron ore. Just really simple, clean. And then we found out that we need to get approval, which is my apologies. As you can tell from the accent, I'm not a local, so wasn't aware that we needed to go through it. So what we're now proposing is to still retain the white on the brick because I do think that makes sense. All of the main spaces in the building are on those sides, so they will get the light, like all of the artwork will be directly reflected from that white exterior of brick. And then on the front where the stacked stone is, painting it this contrasting color, and then doing the archway stucco section that's at the front, that darker muted purple. And we were very intentional with the colors that we selected because she does like purple and it relates to the branding. The branding is very strong with those colors, but we didn't want it to obviously be like this crazy purple looking building, so we made sure they had some dark gray tones in it to kind of soften it a little bit. So the changes essentially from what it is right now is painting the stacked stone and then painting the stucco arch, keeping the window frames and doors the same iron ore, and keeping the brick around the back, and then that front kind of triangular face white as well, just trying to bring in a lot more contrast. And then at the same time, in the same conversation, we should be talking about the landscaping, because what we would like to change on the site landscaping-wise is directly in front of this. So at the moment, the existing landscaping is nothing to be spoken about. Overgrown, unkept, there's no real rhyme or reason behind it. Obviously, a lot of the front part has been destroyed because of all of the work that's been going on with the city roads. So improving on that. And as you can see down the back, it's just all really messy and there's not much to it. And so we worked with Pat to come up with...
Let's hold off there before we get into landscaping. Let's
Okay.
just focus on the building.
Well, I kind of feel like they're layered.
I agree, but at the same time, they are different, so.
Okay.
So
So let's go back to the paint then.
Yes, let's go back there. Because I stopped by earlier this week and took a picture of, and trying to figure out all right, so now what are the next steps?
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
So all the masonry's painted now? The
Yes.
brick and the stone is already painted?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see
Yes.
that's a picture I took earlier this week. Or, sorry.
It's all
I guess
just
I should
the
share
simply
this.
white though, correct?
Pardon?
It's all simply white right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
So is everybody. I
My
don't know
point
whether-
was there's no option not to paint.
Yeah, it's already been done.
Because I would have liked to see the stone not be painted. But
Well, we went back and forth on that, but again, all of the branding and the art it makes more sense to have cooler flat tones so that it can really exemplify a lot of the artwork, or else the existing colors, this stone on the front is very warm and like a lot of variation in it. And we felt that if we were painting the brick a solid color, then that stone was just going to be very aggressive in its texture.
Yep, I have it up. Yep, thank you. I did want to ask you, you'd mentioned that the door was staying the same except for, I guess, replacing the loose part. But in this picture that's up right now, it's a different.
Yeah, this is just an indicative render.
Okay,
They won't know. So the
Okay.
only, and this is only something that we really decided last week because I closed the door and so the panes right here, there's like a crack in it about right here. And I'm just nervous when I was closing the swing doors that those, after a certain amount of time. So everything is going to remain, all of the decorative glass, and then just the two swing doors will be replaced just with just one single
With
pane,
flat.
rather, because I don't think that, I probably could try and find some swing doors that have that exact same decorative element, but I'm highly, yeah. So it's easy to just not try and match it and have it look messy and just instead do a straight pane, yeah.
They must have.
Okay, I just wanted to
These are
check.
darker.
Thank you.
is it a leaded glass? Is it,
I think it might be.
because that can be repaired. I mean, leaded glass can be repaired.
It could be. I mean, this is something that we're still exploring. Like, we only took measurements
Yeah.
of the door yesterday to see what our options are.
Those doors cost a lot of money when they were put in, I'm sure.
They do, but we are also quite concerned about safety and security in general, because she will be having, artwork in there and and she'll exactly we don't want it to be easily breakable. So it might be that those doors are replaced with stronger glass. These are just a single pane.
Where they actually just add another single pane of glass over the leaded glass for the security factors. So that's something I've seen done
Okay.
on a lead glass door.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about lead glass doors. I just know that when I was closing it, that whole pane was just moving back and forth. So it would have to be two process of trying to fix the door to make it secure, and then potentially adding something on the backside. So we can explore that.
Because even from a security standpoint, if you change the middle, somebody could just go through the side lights,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, and it looks like they'll just pick up something that DOT has left on the roadway and throw it through the window, and you're, it's gone. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I guess now that it's unfortunate that everything's been kind of whitewashed at this point, and trying to figure out what we can do, and I stay with Frank. I wish the front stone wasn't painted. I'm a little hesitant with the purplish color. I call that the porte cochere or the grand entrance. That's still connected to the building, so I'd still like to see that either in the lighter the off-white or something rather than the purple color.
You would prefer it was toned down a little bit more?
Yes.
Because what we were working with is, like, from a design perspective, when you've got kind of different layers of colors and a lot more detailing, it makes for a far more interesting building. And the building is quite dominating when you're driving down the street. You know, you can spot it from a mile away. And so that's why we were thinking about layering those two different tones, so it just wasn't like one big block of color. It just kind of provided a bit more variation and interest.
Is there a possibility that instead of the, is it brassica?
Yes.
That we would consider a tone that's partially between the iron ore and the Kaluna?
Yeah.
Because it just really kind of stands out in a way
So you
that-
would prefer that brassica was instead more of a neutral tone that's maybe a few shades less than
I don't
iron ore?
necessarily have a problem with the contrast. It's just that purple color, I think it stands out, but not in a positive way.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any comments on it? And I think the contrast with the front is okay,
Okay.
but
Well, and the shape of that portico too helps pull it
Yeah.
away from it, but still, if you could make it.
Right. Well, and that's why I think it's important to think about the landscaping as well, because once we have this is what we're proposing, all of the layering effect, again, it isn't just like one big solid piece of purple.
And I understand. Now, the parapet cap on that shape of that portico actually helps outline it too. Because I'm looking at the existing picture, it's got a metal cap on it. And I think that's been painted the iron ore, so that helps it, helps it stand
Yeah.
out. Gives it some shape and character.
Have we looked at whether the purple color conforms with the historic color palette? I mean, it's not a color we see often, but is it consistent with the color palette
that's what I
that
was
we're
worried
looking
about
for?
too.
I don't personally mind the color. It's subdued. We keep calling it purple, but it's
yeah.
very
It's
subdued.
like a mauve.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So are you introducing anything else to the outside of the building? Going to add any outside lights or?
We've talked about doing some general uplights in the landscaping throughout. I don't think we have, do we have them on the plan? No, we haven't got them on the plan.
Are you replacing that chandelier that was hanging over the?
Yes, just to do a simple little black sconce, because we want to put a chandelier on the inside of the
Okay.
building. Yeah, the existing one is old and cobwebbed, and yeah, it's really, it's just not.
Very dated.
Yeah, so
Very
what we
80s.
replace it with is just a simple black, yeah. You won't even see it from the street because it's fully raised up, yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. Okay. Any other questions about the exterior colors building? Now let's talk about the landscape.
Okay. So for the landscape, again, going back to the whole concept behind the business is really like educational, professional, sophisticated, and so we wanted that to come through in the landscaping as well. The client loves symmetry and refinement, as do I. And so what we've come up with is basically just framing that front entrance, making sure the front of the building has a really strong presence on the street, but also not taking it too far and making it look completely out of place. The understanding is that we've got, I wish I could get, oh, there we go, a little bit high, a bit closer in here. So at the moment in the existing property out the front, these beds are as is. And we have this concrete walkway from the car park, which is to remain in place. We're not moving any of those perimeter outlines. It's essentially just this kind of big stretch here that is new. So we have, when you walk up from the car park, this central circular area is paved with a grey stone. And then we've got concrete bench seats around. The whole idea is that people might be dropping their kids off for a class, or maybe they want to catch up with some friends, maybe they're going there for lunch, or maybe if there's a small event, it's somewhere for people to really sit and relax and kind of enjoy the landscape and just the property in general. I am not a landscape architect, and so I can't particularly speak to these exact ones. All I can say is that Pat helped us and approved everything, and he was really great. We put some suggestions forward, and he came back with some really obviously important and constructive comments. So where we've landed is, again, bringing through some of those really pretty florals, contrasting it with some white, trying to get a little bit of height from the front, again, to frame it, and then in the middle, putting a vase with some kind of greenery inside of it, or it might just be just a really beautiful vase in general. We were looking at doing a water feature, but I was really nervous about freezing and maintenance and, again, children and water and all of that, and, you know, how we would get it to that. So instead, we've just landed on a decorative vase, and then the planter in the middle, raised platform in a similar kind of shape that's kind of iconic in a lot of Persian culture. So we're trying to bring through those little touch of elements of the owner's background. Around this is, I think we've just put mulch, or is that grass? That was mulch.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
grass in the front.
Yeah.
And mulch.
That's right. So if we then go to these drawings, this is the site in general. So the area that we're talking about is right here. The work to the rest of the building around it is just to tidy it up and make it look nice. We're not changing anything. So purple here shows where we want to do new mulch. Green around here is just turf. And then this is the new work here. And then the building, the pathways and the car park are to stay as is. We potentially might look at redoing the car park, because right now it's quite mottled and broken up. That's obviously a significant expense and is not something that's like day one critical for them to be able to operate the business. I think it would be the last thing that they would do, and we'd need to work out how we want to achieve that later on.
Will you be able to do this landscaping now? How far does Georgia DOT work impede on the property?
Well, we tried to get that information. This is why we've stopped it where we have, because the retaining, we hope that they don't come any further than this. But this is why we've kind of left a bit of a leeway, because we just couldn't get an answer on what they were going to do. The work that they have done, I think they've pulled through their gas lines. I spoke to that guy a couple months ago. I'm hoping that they've done everything. I don't think you know anything, or do you? No. Yeah. So
are you going to proceed with this?
yeah, yes. Like if we get the okay today, the client will
You're gonna go ahead and
I will be calling the landscaper to like this.
And keep your fingers crossed that.
Yeah.
Actually, there was, when I was out there, there were some workers out there on the site here working on some of this already. So some of the patio or plaza area has already been poured.
Yeah, and again, I wasn't aware that we needed to do this, so that's my apologies.
Was there any long-term plans, the whole kind of, I don't know if the garden area that you've designed, so there is a retaining wall in front of there, so there's no way
Yes.
that you'd be ever, down the road, be able to tie it into the public sidewalk after the city?
It's a really high
Yeah.
elevation change.
Because that would be really nice, but I understand.
I fully agree, but I mean, that's something that we would need to explore once we know DOT were like fully done. It would be really nice to be able to enter up from that front, but that's just too far ahead to work out now. Yeah.
So I got a couple things here, if I can interject a little bit. On the screen now, you're seeing September 23 picture. A couple of the key things that I think, talking about the work and where we are in the plan here, the silt fence is gone. So I think that's a fairly good indicator that they're not going back any further. And also the new pole has been set. I'm going to guess that nothing behind this wall is going to happen anymore. There'll obviously still be some stuff in front, hopefully, that it doesn't stay like that. But I think we can be rest assured that what they do behind the wall will be good.
Okay.
Is there a concern related to the, because it still appears as if there's a decent amount of fall from the building. Is there any concern, are there any concerns related to the grade change and how it impacts your whole garden
Well,
hardscape?
we've built that up. That whole
think it has
circular
been built
area
up.
has
It
been
has?
flattened.
I think-
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that circular area would be fully flat, and then the landscaping
Good,
put up to it,
good.
and then it would be naturally gradiated down to the retaining wall.
I do think exploration of a set of stairs that leads right out from the front door through the garden.
That would be so
right
I mean,
down.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
It would tie it in really nicely
I
to
think that
the
would
public
help
right away.
that.
Because that's what we're really wanting, is that in community interaction, you know, the moment you drive down that street and it's very much just like singular view, I would love that.
100%.
I also think, Tara, if you can talk with your owner about
Yes.
maybe doing something with the wall,
Yes, yeah,
maybe a mural,
Oh, yeah, that
or
would
since
be
she's
cool.
an art
yeah.
person anyway,
She'd
you know,
love that.
maybe something on that wall. That, obviously, that'll have to wait till all
Well-
the construction's done.
I'd
but
like to be careful there a little bit because we got a big wall throughout. Anyway,
That would
just,
have to be approved.
yeah, we'd
Yeah.
have to go to the art committee with that and stuff, but yeah.
And that would be part of a greater conversation because, yeah, it would
Yes.
affect all the neighbors. But I think that's something, you know, we do need to fix the entrance. The driveway there is horrible, but
Yeah.
we would then do all of that in one go, once we were confident that they weren't doing any more work.
So with that wall, that's the wall DOT put in?
Yes.
Who's responsible for maintaining those walls going forward?
It's either going to be the city or DOT.
The city or DOT?
and they're
I don't-
they're painting these walls.
I don't know
They're
that.
painting these walls gray.
They're gray.
Yeah,
Oh, they are?
yeah.
Yes.
They're gray.
So I don't know who's gonna, I don't know that, that's a higher
So I'm
level.
just kind of wondering if you wanted to cut a set of stairs through there, who needs to approve that?
That's
Well, it's
what I
gonna
was
be at the right of way, so it would be a combination. It is Highway 9, so it's gonna be a DOT thing.
Just do it. Just do it at the middle of the night.
Do you remember the one that has the Campagna when he built that? And he wanted to do the walk to the sidewalk and the DOT said no-go? Do you remember
Yeah.
that? So I could see this DOT
I
saying
can
you're
see
not having
DOT
stairs.
saying no. I can also see, once they're done, DOT saying, we don't care.
We're done.
You know,
We're gone.
if you take the stairs and go backwards into your property, we don't care. You can't build them out, but if you go back in,
And it would be beautiful to go into
Yep,
the property.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So I
thought,
think that's worth. The next thing is, Mr. Swing, you asked about his purple historic. So I looked up a heritage color for Georgia architecture, and this is a chart that I found. Not sure how I found that so quickly, and it's 1820 to 1920, which is kind of where our historic area is. There's not really a purple in there,
We're kind of sitting between that gray on the left and like the pink on the right.
but right in, I mean, it's obvious that there are some other colors,
Yeah.
And for the most part, they're kind of muted too.
and they're muted,
Yeah.
yes. So
All right,
Right.
very good. Brett, go back to your photo, the September 20. So, all right, a couple questions for you here now, looking at this. Is there any vision of doing any building signage?
Yes, we would like to, but what we wanted to do first was get the paint and the landscape sorted and then see how we felt about how that looked from the street.
I think you need to consider that, yes.
Yes,
definitely.
because the existing sign was quite big and it was kind of to the side, like if you're facing looking at it, it was on the side. And what we don't want, there are just some things that need to be physically done first and then kind of stand there and see what looks best with the scale of the landscaping and everything grows in.
Just need to consider that. And then are you envisioning any kind of monument sign, a freestanding sign in the front?
That's what I'm talking about,
Oh,
yes.
okay, I was thinking about the building sign. So there's a building sign on the building, and there's the monument sign that's freestanding.
Yes, we are looking at a building sign that sits on the stone just to the left of the door, just something small that has the branding name. But the big monument sign is, again, something we'll look at once the landscaping's fully in and we can kind of get a sense of that.
Okay, and then the other thing I noticed here, I don't see any kind of dumpster or dumpstering. I see a temporary dumpster or a haul-away dumpster. I guess, what kind of trash?
There are 2 bins, rubbish bins, trash cans.
And they just roll them out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, never mind.
They just sit tucked behind the back of the
All right,
building.
never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay,
We just lost our.
I will also note that I don't think this is seen anywhere on the drawings, but on the right-hand side, there is the stormwater kind of bed. At the moment, it's not up here, but it sits right here. And the reason we didn't put it there is that it's just something you didn't draw in, but we are going to tidy that up. So at the moment, it's like very messy rocks that are like it's really ugly. So we just want to keep that and make it look a lot nicer.
You just hang on this picture for a second. So from the front door out to the parking lot, that's just poured concrete, right?
Correct.
And then what's the material, it says cobblestones. What is that?
It's a gray, a small gray, like paver, yes.
You're going gray, okay. Are they?
They're square.
They're square?
Yes, they're actually basically in the exact same pattern as what we have there.
And those are benches around the?
Yes.
Concrete benches, yes. Let me,
On the schedule on A401, it has all the,
so it's Cambridge cobble pavers. They're really pretty, ooh,
Okay.
really pretty, what's going on here? Let me scroll out. They're a really pretty gray.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we are looking at doing concrete benches
There's
and then
your
a concrete
planter.
vase.
Tara, going further down on that page, it calls for curb lighting. Is that something you're?
Yes, we were looking at doing that just around the perimeter of that front garden bed.
So, all right, can you show us where you're looking to do that?
Yeah.
If you go back to that, maybe that's site, there we go, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So where is that lighting happening?
So I think that we are doing it around these beds here
Okay.
in front of the building to really bring some light up
So
through that.
that's very low, I mean, you're only 6 inches off the ground or so, right?
It's just to bring a little bit of light. I don't anticipate that the property will be open at nighttime, but there might be some twilight functions, so it is helpful to have a little bit of that lighting. And then it would be around the interior circle where those pavers are.
It's almost like stumble lighting, so you don't
Yes,
stumble.
safety,
over the
yes.
curb. Okay, or what we call stumble lighting.
Add that,
Stumble.
stumble light.
Stumble. Okay, is there any other comments or questions for the applicant this morning? Is there any public comment about this application this morning? Any public comment? All right, no public comment.
Jennifer, I know that Pat looked into this, but is it Japanese boxwood? Is that the one that gets diseased? Or is it
It
American?
can sometimes have issues. Yes.
I mean, do you think, I know Pat looked at it, but I didn't know if American would be better, or do you have an opinion on that?
Usually I'd specify the American if we did boxwood. It's just a little more sensitive, so there are potential issues.
The Japanese is more sensitive?
Yes.
That's my only comment, just
Okay.
not changing it, it's just, I've always read that was, it's kind of,
Yeah, maybe just
For
discuss that
snickety.
with your landscape
Okay.
architect, whether
Yeah.
that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
we'll talk to Pat.
I'll
about-
raise that one.
We'll talk to Pat about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, very good.
Public comment.
Yeah, I asked for, I've already done that.
You did that?
Yes,
All right.
yeah. All right.
All right, Mr. Chairman, regarding PRB 240008 Cal State Holdings, motion to approve the elevation of materials and landscaping as presented with the following conditions. Applicant will attempt to keep the leaded glass and repair it if possible, with final review and approval by staff. And applicant will explore a walkway and stair to the public sidewalk with staff once the Georgia DOT construction is done. End of motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Ms. Palmer. All right, that was DOT, your second condition, okay. Palmer, second. All right, any comments or questions about the motion on the floor?
I have a question. Are we not addressing the purple color?
In Frank's motion, we're not, so it's as shown.
Can I make a friendly amendment?
You could try.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment to the motion and for the applicant to consider modifying the color, which is called brassica, to a gray tone which complies with the heritage color palette. End of motion?
Or just, you don't have to make a motion.
Oh, end of amendment.
End of your-
Friendly amendment.
Friendly amendment.
So what we have, okay,
To be
All right.
approved by staff.
all right.
You accept that amendment?
Well, that's what I think.
Thinking on it.
He's
Let
considering.
me, Can I do a sidebar here? I guess I'd like to know, am I the only one that doesn't have a problem with that color? Because I like that color.
You do?
I don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
Okay.
If you guys like it.
Yeah,
I think
I do not accept the friendly amendment.
Okay, then it is withdrawn.
Okay, any other comments, questions about the motion on the floor? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. All opposed? 1, 2. All right, motion passes 4-2. Very good. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. All right. Very good. Thank you for all that. Welcome back, Mr. Corkle. I'd like to see it lighter or different color than that. Sorry. No, that's the two are. No, no, well, I wish they hadn't done that. But,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
I'm just gonna step,
Okay, all right. Next applicant is Taco Bell. You're here, but we're going to take a 5-minute recess to stand up, refill coffee cups. Yes, yes, 5 minutes. You can go ahead and get plugged in and get ready for us. So give us 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. Yep.
The comment was full of the winter gym? They probably have the wrong botanical. So I told them put in winter gym. Oh, well, something didn't make that comment. They won't find Japanese anyway.
Right. They're gonna go to the place, they're gonna go, we need the Japanese, and they're gonna be like, yeah, American.
You're going to say we have to ship that in from.
Here's one that's called winter gym.
She's probably not even down there.
She's probably down there with that sesame seed one. Yes.
Wonder how much word gets out. If you want to paint your masonry, just go first.
Hope not. Okay. All right, let's end our recess and get started with our next applicant this morning, and that is Taco Bell. So welcome, good morning.
Good morning. My name's Brandon Duffy. I'm with a company called Southpaw. We are a Taco Bell franchisee, here to discuss and present a variety of proposed exterior revisions we'd like to include in our upcoming remodel. You guys want me to give you a brief overview, or would you like to dive into the details? We're going to touch on signage, landscaping, building,
Just
lighting.
give us a lightning fast, brief overview. How about that? And then,
Okay.
Yeah, with focus on what, because some of it I see is just refresh what you got. So if you
Yep.
could clarify what's changing versus.
Gotcha.
what's
yes,
just
there you go.
repainting.
Good.
Okay,
Good point.
quick overview on all things changing and refresh.
Especially since you've got another Taco Bell that's already here in Alpharetta too. Never mind, they're Main Street,
Gotcha.
but,
I'm not super familiar with the area. My
Oh,
designer
okay.
canceled kind of last minute, so I had to
Oh.
fly in from Kansas City, so.
all right, welcome from,
Thank you.
oh, and congratulations on winning the
Thank
Super
you,
Bowl.
Thank you, yes.
We're friendly.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. I'm from Wisconsin, so I should have.
Oh, okay,
that.
never
I'm
mind,
not
all
from
right, maybe not.
so I'm
Okay,
All right.
that was just a friendly amendment, Pat.
All right, so real quick, we're proposing to add brick to the front elevation. We'd like to paint the brick to conform with the requirements. Adding a exterior patio with a umbrella and patio seating. We would like to paint the building. These are similar colors that are included in our existing palette, but we would like to repaint the building. Add a new walk-in box, walk-in cooler that's shown here, a new menu board, clearance bar and canopy, and then relamp the lights with LED lights. That's essentially the new stuff. In addition to our standard remodel would include, replacing light bulbs or fixtures on the exterior of the building, new branding or marketing, new paint, refresh any sidewalks that are damaged, upgrade the landscaping. Oh, I didn't touch on landscaping. We did add a few shade trees per this requirement.
So I know we'll get into details here in a minute, but just on this page, so you're adding some brick. What's that facade today? Stucco?
It is stucco.
Stucco.
Yes.
So you're gonna add some brick, but paint the brick.
Correct. We'd like to paint the brick. We're not stuck on that. We'd prefer to paint it so it matches the building, but
Yeah, okay.
if not, we get a variety of colors on the face of this building that.
And on the patio, the patios, what's new on the patio? Is the patio there, but you're fencing it in? Is that
No,
right?
the
or-
patio is non-existent right
It's
now.
non-existent,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, we've got a.
You have some poured concrete, but.
Exactly. So we'll add a perimeter fence. We'll add in our package there, we've got fencing, benches, tables, chairs.
So you're basically turning that already poured concrete area into a patio?
Correct. I think we're.
Yeah, and again, I'm sure, we'll go through the details.
We're-
I'm just
we're-
trying to
no,
clarify
we're-
what's
we're-
changing.
We're adding on to it.
Oh, you are? Okay, all right.
Correct,
So it'll
yeah.
get bigger, okay. All right.
Bear with me.
Got it.
Yes, hold right there a second, just kind of, so the patio you're talking about is,
The new patio is here.
okay,
Oh, it's
The
actually off to the
existing-
And that's-
Existing sidewalk will remain.
Okay, so it's off to the side of where that is, right, okay.
so just curious, Brett, do they have to add a shade tree?
We were required to add a shade tree, and it's shown.
Okay, I just didn't see, okay.
It's shown here. So that will go right here.
Okay, is that okay? Is that acceptable to put it in the non-seated area?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
we probably prefer that it be on the other side so you can sit under the tree, but it doesn't say that. It just says patio area, so.
Which way's Is south down on this?
South is down on this, yes.
Yeah, okay, well, it might actually provide some shade to the patio at times with south
Are
being
you
down.
doing in that current concrete area, are you doing seating over there as well?
Here?
It's not big, it's not big? Oh, okay.
No,
It's small.
no.
Brett,
So
what'd you ask? I'm sorry? I didn't hear.
I asked if in that current.
poured concrete
Poured
area.
concrete area, if they were gonna do extended seating into that side or just the new. I mean, if you extended.
The seating, I thought you said seeding, I'm sorry. No, the seeding will just remain in the new area.
So it would, I mean, it would help further if there were, if you're gonna put the tree on the left-hand side of this picture.
Well, especially if they're putting the railing, a fence around it. You can't even, it's not even one area, right? How are you doing the fencing around that outdoor patio area? Or where is the fencing? I see that, but where?
Yeah, so it'll be an L-shaped fence essentially.
So can you go back to that site plan and use your pointer just to kind of outline? All right, where is the fencing going, the metal railing?
Go here.
Okay.
And here.
Oh, okay. Because you've already got some though, so if people don't walk straight out into the, yes.
Correct. And I'm not stuck on the needing the fence in between the existing sidewalk and the proposed patio. Maybe it makes sense just to have it over here. Taco Bell the bench used to be called a fench, where the bench and the fence were.
Wait, what did you call it?
A fench?
Fence.
Yeah.
Add
so-
that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Taco
gosh.
Bell isms, yeah. So now we've got some flexibility to add the fence as needed.
Can we ask them to add seating, at least maybe a couple of benches over there, that side of the fence?
We could.
Which side of which?
Yeah, what do you?
I just,
And on the existing concrete.
yeah, I think the only concern the designers would have is just to make sure we maintain egress, right?
Maintain the
Yeah,
egress,
yeah,
but-
that's it.
But if we keep. if
Yeah,
we
we're
keep
not-
that Bench and go right at the fence, I think that'll just.
So this is, so the new patio is just gonna be poured concrete as well?
Correct.
So it all just blends?
Correct.
So it's kinda hard to say where they moved that furniture to, since it's not fixed furniture, right? It's
Right.
Once they kind of figure out the layout, they will anchor it to the concrete so it doesn't end up walking away. Otherwise, they have to bring it in every night, so.
So you're saying move it towards the door a little bit. You can maybe even get another table in there.
I'm just thinking if can you put your pointer right beside that tree? Right there. I think if we, on that side, right up against the fence, if we put a couple of benches.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Along the fence, it may not get sat at, it may, but.
We're not proposed to adding a couple benches there.
You know, but I think you still maintain your egress out, but yet it sort of ties that into the patio as well.
Just curious, where's your handicap? Oh, I see the handicap parking's back there. So the ramp to get into the front door is, there. So I'm looking, all right, it looks like there's a ramp on the north side of the new patio area or something, right? I don't know what that is. Maybe we put some landscaping in there too.
That's a truncated dome, I believe. I think both of our access points have to be ADA compliant. So that's a ramp with an indicator tile.
Oh. Okay.
Is there a tree in that parking island that's adjacent to the patio? Do we,
A tree in it?
a shade tree?
I do not think so.
Because that could provide some potential shade.
Technically should be.
Yes.
Because if it's a parking lot island.
Although you look at the parking area that's even further north, and they don't have, they go more than 8 spaces before they have a parking island.
Well, that's.
Existing?
Yeah.
Has David looked at this yet?
No, because it's existing. But I will tell you that it looks like I'm looking at a 23 aerial, and I think there's a tree in there.
So just to back up real quick, you said you had to add a couple of trees per staff comments, right?
Correct.
So,
That was the patio tree.
That was the.
but who did
patio.
the comment come from?
I'll tell you right
From
now.
you, so so you had to add one tree?
Well,
That's what-
that's all that would be required for the patio.
Okay, but does David not look at things for compliance? There's actually a light pole in that island. I think.
There's a light pole but there is a tree in that.
Okay.
If you want to switch over to me, Nikisha.
If you,
So you
You
bred?
see it, yeah.
Okay.
if you
So
look at,
I mean, there's obviously something in this island that is a tree.
Okay,
With
which,
shadowing and stuff. I agree, there's also a light pole right there.
well, it'll change the planting they've got underneath it too.
There's a tree there.
Well, they've got sun plantings in it.
Okay, yeah.
regarding the shade tree that they're adding at the front of the building, if you even look at the shadow lines of the aerial, it looks like if you had a sizable shade tree there, it would shade the, it will definitely shade the patio area.
Yeah, the magnolia is kind of a smaller sized ornamental
You need something
flowering,
bigger?
and it's deciduous. Yeah.
So, there's two things going on. You put a big shade tree in, it'll knock out the whole front of the building. If the requirement is satisfied, oh, there we go. If the requirement's satisfied per your comment that the tree is there and you're happy with that and staff's happy with that, then I don't think you need to up it to a shade tree or anything like that. Magnolias. So, do you want the tree on the patio side or not? Or do you want a big shade tree that might reach over to that area or not? These are what you gotta figure out.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the patio.
There just isn't a lot of space there looking at the
No,
patio.
I get it.
You put a tree in there, we're gonna be maybe sitting around the tree?
On the design side of things, I'm fine with the magnolia, but if everybody starts talking about putting a big shade tree in there, on the design side of things, I'm not, but on a code requirement thing, then it's up to staff.
Understood.
I think in this case, since we're not sitting under or right at the tree, I understand your point, it's maybe not the right tree. If it's,
Absolutely.
you know, we're sitting under it or around it, but since it's on the other side, then I think, you know, I think staff would go with, yes, we put a tree in there that
And,
suffices for the requirement.
and they've put in something that's adequate and for the space.
Yeah. Now, your comment, Mr. Corporal, about what's underneath what appears to be an existing tree out there, you know, that obviously could change. I'll go.
Ooh, what's that?
I'll take a street view out there. And we'll see if that tells us a little bit better.
I love having segues in landscape.
So-
colors, whatever.
Whenever, so in September, so that tree may have went away,
Yeah, street view is
Oops.
not there.
but
It got replaced by a mailbox.
but our GIS is also, that's a 23 picture.
Well, I don't think a shade tree grew that fast from the first photo you showed us, so we're gonna assume there's no tree there.
So I'm not sure.
Well,
You've got some existing
this
current
could,
photos.
this couldn't be September because there's not much foliage on,
Whatever's there.
yeah.
Well, if you back up time-wise on Street View, a tree does show up there in
Street View's-
October 2018. But when you go to September 2023, it's gone.
So in which case the planting there is.
Ooh,
Look how fast that grew.
it doesn't look in very good shape either.
That's probably why it's gone now.
It does require it to be there.
Okay.
Parking lot island, it was obviously there at one point, so we gotta get it back. Whether it's currently there or not. is
Okay.
the question.
But there's a light pole in that island.
There is a light pole.
You're not
so
moving the
we
light
did-
pole.
which we can't make them move, so I don't think we want a
Big shade tree.
big, tall shade tree. Maybe a very narrow canopy tree that,
Does it look like a maple to you, Jennifer?
It is, yeah.
Gee, I wonder why it failed.
I know, right?
Is it like a sugar maple or a red maple or?
I don't know, it's a maple,
Red
and
maple,
they usually,
yeah.
they usually fail in landscape islands, so.
Mm-hmm.
Parking lot islands, I should say. Which is why David doesn't allow it in parking lot islands.
Okay, good point. Okay, I think we've beaten the patio to,
David will look at it.
all right, let's go back to the building again. There we go. Now, do you have any actual paint samples, colors with you?
I do not with me. My design team had them. I've got a reference here on the rendering, but as far as the sample, I do not.
All these colors are in current use right now, though, correct? Or are we doing new colors?
Yeah, this is the existing palette. I think they add a little bit more white and a little bit more purple, but the color palette remains the same, or if not the same, very similar. They've gone away from this iron ore and gone to a slightly softer, I believe it's this enduring bronze. Yeah, enduring bronze is what they would revise that to. We are showing a new walk-in box, walk-in cooler, walk-in freezer. That's got it comes with a pre-finished metal panel on it. So it's a powder-coated, pre-finished box. We're not stuck on that. If you guys would like to explore the option of adding some material back there, we'd consider it. But as of now, it's shown as a pre-finished, self-contained unit. The condensers will go on the roof, hidden from view like the rest of our condensers.
So,
And-
can you show that in the plan, on
Yeah,
site
show,
plan?
if you go back to the site plan,
I think
if
it's
you
just
will,
a
just,
rectangle that sticks off the end of it, right?
It's gonna look pretty industrial, even with the color. Might consider if there's a way to do it out of stucco or
put
some
a,
kind of
put a
finish.
mural on it.
Or, yeah,
Where's that at on the site plan?
It's on the back end. Oh, so it's,
oh, it's behind it.
okay.
So that's it, okay.
Maybe we would do some landscaping around the base of that one.
Yep.
And that's the shape of that walk-in, is it a walk-in cooler?
It is a walk-in.
And you walk into it from inside the store?
Inside, yep. You walk in through the cooler, and then you access the freezer from inside the cooler.
So there's
another door
no,
inside
no
here.
access from the exterior then?
Nope,
Okay.
none.
But there is a sidewalk currently there?
There is a current sidewalk there, correct?
And from the back of the building, I thought I saw there's like a gas meter, that's where your utilities are, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I've got some photos of that as well.
Seems like there's an arcade right there too. So that's,
Okay, so it's basically gonna take it's gonna be an extension of that arched little,
Essentially
Pop
come
out.
off we will most likely propose to get rid of that arch and frame that straight off the back there.
Sure. so it's sidewalk.
Yeah,
So the sidewalk's a necessary evil there.
I agree. I think this should be some kind of masonry material rather than that, something that would blend with the building a little more.
Yeah.
Or be the same materials as the building.
Yeah.
Usually the pre-finished metal cooler structures really look kind of rough.
They just
It
look
looked like
I'm not arguing there. They look pre-finished. It's, you know, we would typically propose that as a cost-saving measure, or we can put that right on the slab if we have to, you know, include ephes or stone, then we've got to actually frame a wood structure, pour a foundation, and build it essentially like a building. That said, we do it all the time, so it's not a sticking point. We could happily add the stone wainscoting and ephes.
so adding that walk-in freezer cooler back there, that doesn't interfere with some of your kitchen equipment inside the
No.
facility?
Nope.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Currently, the freezer is inside the space. So if you think about how much space they're actually
It's
gaining by
freeing
moving
up.
it outside, it frees up a lot of space. This is a high-volume store, and you know, the volume kind of dictates the amount of money we're able to spend on it. This one is a good producing store, so we've got some money to you know, relocate a walk-in cooler and improve operations.
Okay.
No color samples though.
No, and then tell us about, there's a, looks like there's some LED or some sort of light strip, or I saw it on one of the, there we go, LED perimeter lighting.
Yeah, the LED perimeter lighting is it's a tape-applied LED purple light that gets applied right here underneath right at the edge of the fascia there. It's hidden by a piece of Z metal. Let me see if she's got a... She's missing the detail in here. It's hidden by a piece of Z metal flashing that just allows the purple light to kind of reflect against the building.
So in that Z metal that's attached to the building, where is the LED strip on that Z metal?
So here's your Z. This is my building.
Okay,
The LED is right here. And then
So
there's
it's-
a 4-inch piece of Z that actually covers. We don't want it, the light shining in someone's eyes. We just want it to reflect on the top portion of the building, and it kind of gives it a slight purple hue.
Is it in the same spot as those purples are?
Correct.
Purple paint color?
Yes.
So it only flushes down with purple paint?
Correct. Yep.
so it kind of gives it a little bit of a halo or a,
Yeah, it's just gonna be a little bit of a glow.
okay.
I almost wish it was, if you all were gonna go with the purple color, that maybe that's just a white light.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because
Yeah,
I think
'cause-
the white would be good.
Because it's going to light up the purple,
You're
right?
still gonna get the
Yeah,
purple.
it's gonna light up purple, and so like, if you go with purple color, but, because I think the light on the building, if you've not been out there at night, the building's sort of, I mean, when they're going with the LED parking lot lights is gonna help, but the building just doesn't have much pizzazz to it, so I think some lighting on it will really make it.
Has that purple lighting been done at any other stores?
It has. I can provide you some documentation, yeah.
Be good to see what it actually looks like.
Yeah, kind of a nighttime view or,
The picture
Yeah.
makes it look like neon a little bit.
Candidly, I'm not a fan of it. It costs a lot of money, and it's very subtle.
You're being recorded, so there's no candy.
Yep, no, so yeah. It's pretty expensive, and I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze from a cost standpoint on my side. It's very subtle, but the operators, they
It seems to me like what Brett was saying, if it was just even just a white light, or not that grayish LED, but, a softer white light on that purple would do the trick, seems.
I would have to see if all of our signage is provided by the brand, so I'd have to go back and see if they have an option to modify it or customize it. Typically, it's either thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you want purple wall wash? And if you say thumbs up, they send you the package. If you say thumbs down, they don't. So can explore that, but I might be getting into a custom situation.
Out of the box.
it's on the building.
Outside of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It also looks like on the existing building, at least on the rear, you've got some lighting that shines up on the roof kind of canopy or the yes.
Yeah, those are not currently functional, and typically we've deleted them.
Okay, so those aren't in.
They're not
you're
part of the new lighting package, no.
Okay. So for instance, on the rear, we're looking at the rear, would there be this LED strip on the rear of the building too?
Yeah, it would go right here.
Okay.
So on the cooler, if we go with something to match the building, all your colors then will match existing. There won't be any change of color.
Well, wasn't the iron ore or something, or the,
We're changing, the iron ore is turning into
Because I was just looking at the color palette, I didn't see anything.
bronze.
They're keeping the palette but changing elements, right?
If you keep that.
or the
theme of that
bronze?
elevation as you come across the building and onto the cooler, would that work?
Yeah.
Put that elevation there, to keep that theme, if you will.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We would continue with the wainscoting and run it through, and then just ephes above it.
That would look a lot better, I think. I think the landscaping or having some kind of low landscaping around that too would,
Yeah.
because,
Landscaping always carries the day.
Screening.
yeah. But also, all your customers are driving around to get through the drive-through, so it's gonna be pretty
How
visible.
much extends beyond the existing concrete? You know the distance of that?
I don't have a dimensional plan in front of me
It's like
here.
about 12 feet, 10 to 12 feet, if you look at it.
That's- Yeah, parking spaces are
So
8
there's-
feet wide.
there's Sufficient room is kind of where I was going to get a couple of shrubs or
Yes, there is.
something in there, because there is tree canopy back there, so.
More than a couple.
More than a couple, yes. Okay.
So I'm sorry to ask this again, but I'm missing what color is changing. Because I'm just looking at the color palette in what was submitted, it all says match existing.
Well, that's what my designer told me, but this color has changed.
Well, that's the cooler, we're gonna change
Well,
that. We're gonna change that
it's
again.
the same color. The cooler comes prefabricated to our specifications. This color is called enduring bronze.
Okay, so this wainscot color on here says brainstorm bronze, and it says match existing, but it doesn't match existing.
No,
you're saying.
it's gonna be,
I think everything.
unless she's got a bust here, and again, I don't want to speak out of turn for her, but this color is called iron ore, this really dark
Or it's
gray.
bronze, or it's called iron ore now.
It's called iron ore.
Now, but it's now going to
Correct,
be.
I believe so.
Bronze, something bronze.
Well, it's not like you were doing that just to match that cooler with the cooler.
No, the cooler comes pre-finished per our specification.
Oh,
And they can match the.
Yeah,
bronze.
they'll paint it whatever color we like.
so you want it, so that's iron ore, no, that's iron ore now.
It's iron ore now.
Are you
It's,
leaving the stone? Or are you
Yes.
painting
Yes.
the stone?
stone stays the same.
I'll tell you what I'm able to do is on my laptop, I'm looking at the
Yeah, that's
existing
what I'm-
store and
That's what I'm doing too.
comparing it to what they're.
I think that new color, to me, looks a little browner, which might go with the stone a little bit
It,
better.
it,
than
It
the
does.
It does.
The only thing I'll say is we don't have a sample of that, so I think you're gonna have to look at that for us and see if that works,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And what's that color called?
Something enduring.
Enduring bronze, yeah.
It's on one of the pages or sheets. There it is.
There it is.
SW7055.
Well, it says that
Sherwin-Williams.
It says that's for the parapet cap, though.
It's the wainscot too,
Okay.
yeah.
So now what you're calling tile on that's existing, right?
She's calling the tile existing.
But
That's
it looks like more stone than
It's an
tile.
existing stone, yep.
Okay. Okay, so looking at that, or if whoever's controlling that, zoom out just a little bit for us. So we've got the existing stone right there on that front pier, the very front left pier. That's staying as it is.
Correct,
Then you're putting brick above that, correct?
correct,
But it's being painted.
correct.
The
Worldly gray.
worldly gray, okay, which is a lighter gray than or blue, whatever that color is, blue or gray.
It says it's the color that's on the parapet cap and tower trim.
Right there, that Taco Bell, where Taco Bell is, that light color.
Okay,
That light color.
and then the recessed area over the storefront is gonna be the purple.
Correct,
I say purple, the violet purple, okay? You got the band above it. I have to go back and see what the color that was gonna be. The band above it looks like it stays probably what it is now. And then there's a bigger band. There's like an 8-inch wide raceway. Okay,
on the front elevation, we're showing all brick.
okay. Except for that little band right
With the-
there.
with
that
the
little
band that's going
raceway
to be-
band or- Then more brick, okay.
And then what color do the awnings go to? Do they go to that enduring as well?
There are, I don't think there are awnings. I think
Yeah,
that's,
that's the door.
oh, the door, I'm sorry.
Right over.
Yeah, they're bronze right now.
So
And
those
they'll
will be
s-
going to enduring gray?
They'll stay the same,
They'll stay bronze, okay.
stay the same.
I think there's one on the side of the room.
Typically one over each entrance and then one over the drive-through or prepay area.
Okay. And then you're proposing murals. Right
Correct.
now, those are just kind of a purple
Block,
block.
correct.
Okay.
That would go to the art committee if they.
Yeah, I'm under, that would be handled under this sign permit application, I'm under the assumption of, right? Yeah.
Because, yeah, they,
That's a different.
I understand, I'm just subtly seeing the bell coming into play and then the murals.
We'll remove the bell, we've removed the bell if it's a,
The mural is, don't even look like the mural's there. You don't, we don't need to deal with that at all.
Jennifer, are you familiar with that Raphael Lepus, Georgia Petite or whatever?
Hawthorn.
You familiar with that plant?
Yes,
The Georgia one?
yes.
You good with that?
It can be a little sensitive to the cooler temperatures. You know, if we get a really hard freeze, sometimes they'll die out, but we used to use them a lot more than we do now.
I don't use them, I don't use
No.
Raphael Lepus at all anymore. I'm just not familiar with that Georgia one, whether they just do that in there because they think it'll grow here or.
We've
That's
used
the
it.
shrub that you see the leftovers, they're all
Yes.
just the bones now, and they haven't been replaced.
Mhm.
The bones.
Picked over.
But they freeze out and the humidity gives them leaf spot.
Yeah.
And what is that?
Raphael Lepus, I just finally got
It's
through
the
the
Georgia,
17 pages of stuff to get back to the drawing.
Georgia Petite Hawthorn.
Georgia
Oh,
Petite,
the Indian hawthorn.
yeah. So something to rethink. We've got 76 of them on site, so probably have half of those be casualties.
That's not a good odds, not a good percentage. I assume it's irrigated right now, correct? Is the site irrigated, site irrigation?
What are your thoughts on the yuccas?
They're good. I think they go along with the Taco Bell theme. They're native, so that'll satisfy some of their native requirements.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about the, you've got a point of order canopy?
Correct.
Is there any color specified for, or order point canopy? Are there any color specified for that? And
No,
is
it's-
that lit?
it is illuminated, there is a light right here. The canopy post itself is the same bronze color as the site lights, and then the overhead canopy is just a white. And I can provide some specification sheets if you guys would like additional details there.
For me, it wouldn't be necessary as long as, one thing that we would look at is, when I talked with Rosa was, is it purple, or does it say Taco Bell on the crash bar? or,
That's what I was
something like that.
questioning.
So, yeah, so that, when she said it was, no, it was all plain unbranded, I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Yep, we've
Good
gone
deal.
away from all that.
Good deal.
We are proposing a digital menu board that's smaller in size than our current static menu board, and a new speaker post as well.
Smaller is better.
Smaller's better, yeah.
I don't know. Wait till you get older.
Yeah.
You can't see it.
Okay,
No, you know what you're gonna get, right?
well,
It's not like
I don't know.
And
And,
kind of the same order every time.
no, you gotta mix it up. Okay,
the umbrella color,
Purple?
purple.
I think there's a theme here.
You just say it, it's purple.
As we've learned, not all
I-
purples are the same.
And it doesn't say Taco Bell on
It
it?
does not say Taco Bell, it's just a purple umbrella,
Does it match the purple color on the building?
yes.
Until it fades.
Um,
That doesn't.
Okay,
So are on your sign, let me look at your sign here. So your sign is on the building. The words Taco Bell on the building are now going to be they same color? Are they gonna be the same color they are now, or are
They
they?
actually change color.
That's what I was
So-
thinking.
Yep,
Okay.
so they're black during the day and they're white at night.
Going to black.
So,
Yep,
well, I'll talk to your sign company about that. I didn't catch that.
Okay.
You can't do that anymore.
gotcha.
So we'll see what they want to do with that. I'm going to guess that they'll probably want to add some, make them white and add some halo lighting or something.
And that's because it's face-lit, Brett, you're talking about. That's the reason.
Can't illuminate through the front of the letters anymore.
Oh, not at all. Gotcha, okay.
We don't have to.
So we're not gonna approve, we're not gonna do
No,
signage,
you don't
we're not
have
gonna do signage, okay, I was just curious.
But
'Cause I'm-
since you brought it up, we'll bring it to him, but I'll talk to the sign
Right.
company about it. Or,
So you can't do the day-night.
yeah, day-night doesn't
Yep.
work anymore. Well,
Yeah, I-
it's not, it doesn't work. It did work. It was a great thing.
It's,
Not here.
it's,
Not for
That's just for lettering or that's for logos too?
logos as well.
Oh, so no backlit signs whatsoever?
I call them facelit.
Oh, facelit,
because
yeah.
backlit would
Yeah.
Assume that the lighting's coming from the back, which is fine. But illuminating
they're
through
supposed to,
the face of
they're supposed
something
to, he said they match the building.
Gotcha.
He said they're gonna match the building colors. Sorry, we're talking about the umbrella color too.
Yeah,
Well,
I
sidebar.
I just wanna make sure the umbrella color's not like bright neon purple, so I think we're just conditioning it on submitting a sample to you, just to make sure it's like that deeper purple that's, since we're not seeing a sample of the umbrella.
Right.
Right.
But we're also not seeing a sample of the building. So if you're saying that the building
Well, the building is match existing. The sign.
doesn't have
No.
purple on it.
Yeah,
I-
there's no.
I know the building doesn't have purple on it,
Okay.
but the sign does. He said it matches the purple
Oh,
that's on
purple
the,
on the sign.
that's on the bell.
Okay.
All right, we used to
Building does
have.
have purple on it.
Well, it's a,
So,
yeah, but it's,
well,
Paint.
to that point,
Yes,
we are
it
matching
was-
some existing colors.
muted purple. I just, without seeing a sample of that
Some, I
umbrella,
think
I'm
it's in
saying
the
it's
conference
purple
room.
is,
Let me see.
I'm
All right,
just- I would go with, if you're gonna approve the purple on the building, when I look at it, I would want it to match.
These,
The umbrella needs to be the same purple as what the building is, if you all approve the purple on the building.
these archways right now are also purple, hard to tell. But
Oh, I see.
the inside of that archway,
and is that the purple that you're proposing for the new?
yeah, same color.
So there's the purple right there. So it's a deep, well, it could be in shadow. So do we used to have the paint chip Sherwin-Williams somewhere around here. It used to be in a plastic,
No, we haven't, but I don't, I'm sure that's a custom Taco Bell color, and so to go through and pick something out.
all right, we're gonna find it here on the internet. Sherwin-Williams, whatever that number was. Let's see if we can find one. Go look at my package here.
Is there a Sherwin-Williams one back there?
There's, I don't know where they are.
I thought it might have been in the conference room or,
Front. I think someone moved them out front.
all right, hang on, I'm gonna go look. I think I saw it back this way. Keep going.
actually,
Is it really?
that's what it says, SW.
I don't know if that helps, but that's an actual photo of the umbrellas deployed.
Looks very blue.
It looked very blue.
It's
Yeah,
purple.
yeah, that's fine.
What's the name of the purple on Sherwin-Williams?
Well, it looks like it's purple.
Does it have a number?
It's a Taco Bell,
Well, it's got a Taco Bell
custom,
number.
custom color. So like if you call Sherwin-Williams and try to just order it, you won't be able to get it. You'll have to into their custom
Yeah,
colors.
it's called SW purple on their sheet here.
Okay. Hey, guess what I found?
That's Taco Bell custom number, yeah.
Oh, it's TB. So.
Yeah, it's a custom color.
Shoot. All right. We do have it though.
Looks better on the picture you just showed than this accent.
Okay. All right.
We'll just say it's approved if it's that color you showed there. So we're not gonna condition it. If it's what he just showed,
The umbrella,
we're cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be that exact umbrella and
If it's what you just
sometimes the
showed,
purple's
that's
not available and we get black. So one or the other.
black would be fine.
Okay, while there's a lull in the action, I'm going to ask for any public comment this morning. Is there any public comment? There's no public comment. Okay, I think we covered everything. Exterior colors, the patio area, furniture, landscaping, signage will be.
Will you make several motions or break them up?
Yeah, let's at least break up the lanes.
We want an Eric motion. No offense. You did well. You covered everything on that one, so.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 240009, Taco Bell. Motion to approve the elevation of materials as presented with the following conditions. The elevation of materials on the walk-in cooler will match the existing building. The LED perimeter lighting will be white, or no lighting at all would also be acceptable, not the purple. The color Brainstorm Bronze, as shown in as submitted, will actually be enduring bronze. Because we don't have a sample of that, applicant will submit a sample to staff for final approval. End of motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Mr. LaCane.
I have a question.
Yes, questions?
Regarding the cooler, you said she'll match the building. Do you want staff to look at that to make sure it goes with what our comments?
So I wrote that the cooler to match the layout and colors of the building.
Yeah, the
So
elevation,
continuing the-
that's why I basically said elevation of materials, which kind of
Yeah.
means everything,
Yeah,
right?
so it's just, instead of all being one color, it's gonna wrap.
Sort
through.
of a continuation of the
But just a
elevation.
continuation of
Yeah.
the.
But are we allowing the pre-finished metal, or are we going to require the materials, like Frank just said, of the building?
Yeah, well, I said elevation of materials
Okay.
to match the building.
Yeah.
So it'll just look like an extension of the building going around.
So will
Yes.
you look at that then? Okay.
Okay. Good question, good comment. Anything else? Any other comments or questions? There be none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed, no opposition. Motion passes 7-0. Okay.
All right, well, I'm on a roll here. Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 240009, Taco Bell. Motion to approve. We'll put three things together because it's easy though. Landscape, patio, and furniture with the following conditions. Applicant will add benches along the fence to the south side, to the south of the patio. Applicant will replace the tree in the parking lot island on the northeast corner of the building that was previously removed. Species and caliber of the tree to be approved by staff. And applicant will add additional landscape screening around the walk-in cooler with final approval by staff. End of motion.
I'll second that too.
Okay, motion by Mr. Swing and a second by Mr. LaCane.
So,
Comments, questions about the
you've been
motion?
doing so good up to now.
Uh-oh.
So, I'd like to make a friendly amendment. How come my thing's blinking red now?
Oh, yeah, usually.
See, that's why I don't use this very much, because things just break.
There we go. There you go.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment regarding the landscaping that, per my comment, the Raphiolepis is replaced with something else that will do better in this climate, an evergreen shrub that will do better in this climate. Do you accept this friendly amendment?
I do.
Okay, friendly amendment accepted by Mr. Swing.
You good with
Let's
that,
see.
Ellie?
For a second, can I get a little bit more of a? Suggestion? No, more of a, do you have a suggestion of what you want it to go to, or you're leaving that to staff to pick that?
I'm leaving it to the applicant to pick that. I mean, it can be a holly, it can be any number of things that just does better in this climate that has the same use and form and.
Okay, so what was
Which-
that called again that we're replacing the?
Raphiolepis. You
Which-
can call it Indian hawthorn.
because we're approving this, it's going to come back to staff, and staff will have to look at it, just to
Okay.
make sure. That's why Brett's asking the question.
Okay.
It's not coming back to the board.
He knows how to find me.
It's all along the perimeter of the parking and all that.
It's all that new
Yeah,
area. out
there's a
there.
lot of them. It's
I think you said there's like 76 of them or
the
something?
majority shrub out there.
Something, okay. All right, very good. You accept, let's see, does the person that seconded the motion have to also accept the friendly amendment? I forgot. No, okay. Very
The guy
good.
that made the motion.
All right, very good. All right, any other questions or comments about the motion? And the friendly amendment has now been added to the motion, so, okay. There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion that includes the friendly amendment, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? No opposition. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, is there anything else we need to cover for this applicant? Okay, so the mural will be the Arts Committee, and signage will be staff. Very good. Okay. Brandon, thank you for your time.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. All right. There being no further business, and with no objections from fellow board members, this meeting is hereby adjourned.
On that cooler.
Thank you.